Thank you, Hugh, and a very good evening, everybody, as the teams come out here at Fratton Park. This was a Premier League fixture as recently as 2010. Now it's the battle of two fallen giants bidding to fight their way back after sliding down the divisions against the backdrop of financial turmoil and numerous rogue owners. Pompey haven't even managed to finish in the top six in either of the last two seasons, but they've got Messinio, and there is a genuine belief that League One's youngest manager can be their special one. As for Bolton, they've plummeted a long, long way since the glory days of Big Sam and JJ Okocha. However, they've been upwardly mobile ever since Ian Evatt took charge some 3.5 years ago, and they're desperate to go one better than last season's playoff semi-final heartache. Victory for the visitors would see them leapfrog their hosts into top spot. Sam Parkin, it all adds up to what should be a brilliant, emotionally charged night under the lights here on the South Coast.
Yeah, can't wait for it. Two excellent teams, two brilliant young managers who could go and achieve great things, I think, in their managerial careers. So I think it'll be pretty easy on the eye. I think both teams are pretty slick in possession. Got some good forward players. So hopefully we'll get some goals. But again, I think the point would probably be a really good result for certainly Portsmouth, I think, given that they've got a nice little cushion at the moment. And Bolton will give them the confidence, I'm sure, and the impetus to go on and possibly overturn the little deficit at the moment and go on and be a real strong looking outfit for the remainder of the season.
Well, John Messinio, the Portsmouth manager, did hint in the build-up to this game that Colby Bishop, their leading goal scorer, could be fit to return from injury. He has lost that fitness fight, so it's just one change for the hosts from the side that beat Northampton last time out. Joe Morrell, back from suspension, having been sent off for the second time this season, returns in midfield with Christian Sadie dropping to the bench. Norris is the goalkeeper. Rafferty, Raggett, Shaughnessy and Sparks the back four. Morrell and Pack in front of them, with Kamara, Robertson and Lane in behind Yengi up front. Two changes for Bolton: Randall Williams and John Daddy Bodvarsson, by popular demand in the eyes of the travelling fans. They come into the team, so it's Baxter in goal, a back three of Jones, Ricardo and Toll, with Dacus Cogley and Williams the wing backs. Sheehan, Magoma and Thomason make up midfield, with Bodvarsson in alongside the prolific Dion Childs in attack. We have a former Premier League referee in the form of Bobby Madley in charge. In fact, it's only his second ever League One game. The last saw Portsmouth beat Port Vale by 2-0. Maybe the home fans who've packed out this famous old arena will see that as a bit of a positive omen. It's going to be Bolton Wanderers in their white shirts, black shorts and white socks, shooting from right to left in the first half, who get us underway. Pompey in their royal blue jerseys, white shorts and red socks, attacking the goal away to our right, and straight away Yengi has seized on a Bolton mistake on the edge of the penalty area, and it was really well defended actually. Yengi forced out wide, and the end Sam Parkin can only run the ball behind for a goal kick. That would have been some start.
I was surprised actually that he didn't just try and feed that in beyond Santos to the running Robertson, who'd broken beyond Sheehan. He's well placed to receive the pass from Yengi. I just don't think the centre forward saw it.
Ricardo Santos, by the way, making his 150th Bolton appearance tonight, wearing the captain's armband as Pompey play the ball back to their goalkeeper Norris. 9 clean sheets for him this season, more than any other goalkeeper in League One, and Pompey looking to move the ball up the field quickly, but it's at the feet now of Norris's opposite number, Nathan Baxter. He has 10 shutouts in all competitions. Another Bolton mistake as the ball was played out to his left-hand side. Randall Williams, no chance of keeping that in play, and Pompey have a throw. 10 yards shy of the penalty area. 0-0 the score. You're listening to TalkSport 2 on this Monday evening, a much warmer Monday night down in the Solent than maybe we may have anticipated. That's going to be a free kick for a foul by Williams. An opportunity here for Pompey to cross the ball into the penalty area. It's Kamara who was swept from his feet, no more than 4 yards in from the touchline and almost level with the penalty spot.
Yeah, the worst possible start really from Randall Williams down the left-hand side. He was sold a little bit short there by a teammate. Ball ran out of play, gives the crowd a little bit of impetus to get behind their side from the outset, and then he gives away a free kick, of which Jack Sparks on his right-hand side has got unbelievable delivery with his left foot. Incredible asset for Portsmouth so far this season. This will be on the money, you would imagine.
Yeah, 7 assists for Sparks already this season. He plays it in left-footed to around about the penalty spot. Nobody in blue really attacked it with any great conviction. Bolton clear it away, and it's back now with a black-shirted Norris midway inside the Portsmouth half. He hammers his clearance high up into the sky, in fact so high that it disappeared over the top of the corrugated iron roof that is shadowing us here in the south stand at rickety old Fratton Park. As Neil Allen from the Portsmouth News was telling us before the game, they have invested a lot, the Eisner family of Walt Disney fame, in the infrastructure, but there's still an awful lot of work to be done on this stadium. But it's a charming place, Sam, to come and watch football.
Yeah, we're packed in here quickly, aren't we? Absolutely packed to the rafters here.
You have to like the person you sat next to, don't you?
You do, yeah. I was clambering over everyone when I pre-match, so I've made a few enemies.
We play 3 minutes. It's Portsmouth 0, Bolton 0. The 50th league meeting between the two here at Fratton Park, which had been a fortress for Pompey until their long unbeaten run came to a shuddering end in their last home game. They lost 4-0 against Blackpool, their first defeat in 27 league games home and away. Bounced back with that 3-0 trouncing of Northampton. And John Massinio actually in his programme notes has been talking about the character that his side showed to put that adversity behind them. They've conceded a free kick here though over on the far right touchline, around about 30 yards inside Pompey territory. I think it'll be the right wing back Dacres Cogley, signed from Tranmere in the summer, who plays it into the area away to our left. Bolton attacking the Fratton end, where the more vociferous of Pompey supporters tend to congregate. And they've committed plenty of white jerseys forward for this free kick. Pompey have got everybody pretty much back inside their own penalty area, barring a one-man wall that's been made by Joe Morrell. So they have to bounce inside the area. And it was Abu Kamara in the end who headed it clear towards the halfway line, picked up by Williams. And after a nervous start, Bolton just beginning, Sam Parkin, to dictate the pace of the game.
Yeah, Portsmouth started well. This little spell of possession just comes off the back of Dion Charles and some brilliant unselfish work down the right hand side to win them that free kick. I'm keeping a close eye on him. Obviously he's their talisman, but he started this game like a man possessed, closing down from the front. It was a great bit of movement, went short towards the ball, spun in behind Shaughnessy, and then was just really alive to the loose ball, nicking it away and winning that free kick for Bolton. So it's just given them a little foothold after a difficult opening couple of minutes.
Well, I know all about Dion Charles. Pompey scored in each of his last two games against the South Coast side. As Nathan Baxter, the Bolton goalkeeper, launches the clearance long upfield. It's headed down inside the centre circle by Bodvarsson, the Icelandic international, but Pompey got it back with Kamara. Door quickly closed on him. Robertson tries to head it back out to Kamara on this right-hand side. Again, Bolton clear it away, but Kamara had it back momentarily. He was well shackled there by Owen Toll, and he's back now with Baxter again, courtesy of a side-footed pass from Randall Williams. 0-0.
Owen Toll just going infield there. Randall Williams starting in a left-back position, so just momentarily in a kind of orthodox back four. Randall Williams is still free, could get it off the goalkeeper, but he opts to go long.
Yeah, Baxter once again clears the halfway line with the punt upfield. It's brought down neatly by Robertson for Pompey, but they can't keep possession at the moment for any prolonged period. It's back with Toll, and then laid off into the centre circle, and they're streaming forward again here, the white shirts. Williams has made a good run infield, didn't get possession, and Pompey able to get everybody back behind the ball. Toll forward, neatly turning on the edge of the area is Charles, linking up with Bodvarsson. Again, Pompey with enough hands on deck to get the ball temporarily clear, but it's going to come straight back again with Dacres Cogley down the right. 0-0 the score, but Bolton looking threatening here, and across into the goalkeeper's arms. Norris grateful for that one. It was straight at him at the near post because there were white shirts queuing up, Sam, in the centre.
Yeah, the first example of kind of Bolton setup, as I said, they were kind of in a back four as they built from the back when Williams was free on the left-hand side, and then they worked it into Dion Charles, who once again has been incredibly sharp. He tried to play a little 1-2 with Bob Barson. His touch got away from him to a degree, but he looks up for it tonight. Sheehan in an advanced position, ultimately there, just unable to execute his pass, but centre half's joining in. It's a good watch.
Sean Raggett carrying it forward for Pompey. An opportunity maybe here for Robertson on the edge of the Bolton area. He just got the ball stuck under his studs, and with that it's cleared to the halfway line. One back doggedly by Marlon Pack, the captain. And it's now Pompey in possession on this near right-hand side, with Joe Rafferty who'll come forward from full-back. Just inside Bolton territory. 0-0 the score on TalkSport 2. That's a poor pass from Rafferty. He's annoyed that maybe Yengi wasn't quite on his toes, but he was asking an awful lot of the Australian front man. And Baxter has possession now inside the Bolton 18-yard line. Bolton unbeaten in their last 11 games in all competitions. They've won 10 of those before the draw at Oxford last time out. It's going to be an interesting tactical battle down the touchline. John Massinio, 37 years of age, the youngest manager currently plying his trade in League One. Ian Ebbott is the longest serving manager. The Bolton boss stands arm behind his back just to Massinio's right. Bolton attacking over on the far side. Again, they're coming forward at pace, but that was a mistake. And the ball is passed out of play, and Pompey have a throw inside their own half.
Yeah, Magoma just got goal side of Marlon Pack for the first time. Kind of man for man, that midfield. Robertson against Sheehan's going to be an interesting battle. Robertson will, I'm sure, have the instruction to just go and disrupt Sheehan, who's kind of the quarterback for Bolton, but that was Magoma obviously giving away a few years on Marlon Pack, just able to burst beyond him for the first time, but Bacchus Cogley a little bit loose on the far side.
We played 9 minutes. We await the first goal. Bolton happy to play their way out from the back, try and beat the Portsmouth press, but it's given away by Thomason. And Pompey have a throw over on the left touchline as we look. Massinio very animated down the touchline. His white trainers glowing under the Fretton floodlights. It has to be a foul, doesn't it? Ricardo, he had a couple of nibbles at Yengi before the free kick was finally given by Bobby Madley. Taken quickly by Portsmouth, played out to the left-hand side, deep delivery. And Ricardo had to get there because he knew that Yengi was coming in behind. He was off balance, the Bolton skipper, and he just about, Sam, managed to hook the ball clear. I think we're going to get a yellow card here, the first of the evening. There's a foul over on the left-hand side for Portsmouth, and it's Robertson who goes into Bobby Madley's notebook.
Great play from Yengi the first time him and Santos have come together, and the Portsmouth striker comes out on top. Great front play, and then Marlon Pack getting it moving straight away, and Jack Sparks already spoken about his left foot delivery. He's got 10 yards of space there. Bolton are going to have to close him. The problem being for Portsmouth, the only real target was Yengi, who just got back to his feet after that tussle with Santos. Didn't really make up the distance, and the Bolton centre-half was just about able to deal with a delivery. But yeah, Sparks' left foot, they should know all about that, and got to close that space down a little bit quicker.
Sam Parkin, former EFL striker, alongside me, Alex Crook here at Fratton Park. Live on TalkSport 2, Pompey 0, Bolton 0 the score. The travelling contingent away to our right in excellent voice in the Milton Road end of the ground, and it's a throw-in for Pompey, which Sparks will take 20 yards or so inside his own half, so over on that far left-hand side. Pompey have won 4 of their last 6 meetings with Bolton. The throw-in is taken short. This time Sparks has knocked it straight out of play for a Bolton throw. There have been 1 or 2 errors in possession, Sam. Is that down to the magnitude of the occasion?
Yeah, possibly. I thought Portsmouth started the game well. Bolton have responded. Portsmouth haven't really been able to connect the midfield and the forward players as of yet. Lane and Kamara count their touches on one hand really between them to this point, so yeah, they're unable to have any effect to this point. But yeah, probably quite a frantic start, but I expect it to be a frantic game, to be honest.
Throwing over on the far side, Dacres Cogley into Magoma. Back now towards the halfway line with Owen Toole, who loves to get forward. An opportunity for a cross inside the area, and the goalkeeper, Norris, came to meet it. With Bodvarsson flying in. A really wicked delivery from George Thomason on his 50th League One appearance, and it was safe hands from the keeper.
Yeah, I mean, literally had a yard on Joe Morrell on the left-hand side. It's the most exquisite of deliveries. It's absolutely perfect. I think Dion Charles actually does pretty well to get just a whisker away from turning that home, because it's hard to anticipate when it comes in so quickly. He's almost facing away from the target and just whipped his left foot around it. It was absolutely delicious from Thomason on the left.
Joe Morrell, part of the Wales squad at the World Cup this time a year ago, has just been upended on the edge of the halfway line. The referee's played an advantage because Pompey are coming forward down the right now with Rafferty. Good play from Kamara through the legs of Toll, cuts it back to the edge of the box, and it will be swept clear by Magoma. And Bodvarsson, dropping very deep, plays it against Rafferty, out for a Bolton throw, and we are going to get a yellow card here, the first Bolton booking of the evening. Thomason for that rather crude challenge on Morrell, but good advantage played by the referee.
Yeah, set his stall out a little bit, hasn't he, with the first booking for Robertson. It did look a little wild, and that was probably in keeping with what we saw previously, so rightfully takes Thomason's name as well. That was a great chance for Kamara. Through the legs of Toll, Sheehan was coming over to shield his back three. I felt there was another touch in that for Kamara to take it to the byline.
Here he comes again down the right-hand side, starting to wreak havoc, Kamara. And again, he's got the beating of Toll. Again, cuts it back to the edge of the box. Morrell just opens up his body to switch the play onto his left foot, and then knocks it back out to the right-hand side, where Kamara will take over again. Good couple of minutes this for the home side, but they're being forced back to the halfway line, and Raggett, much to the Pompey fans' frustration, in the end plays it all the way back to Norris, the goalkeeper. But Abu Kamara looks like he's going to get some joy on this Pompey right-hand side against Owen Toll.
That was really good play. I just felt that Sheehan was kind of busting the gut to get over and close down that space, and had Kamara towed it beyond him, Sheehan possibly would have been tempted into the challenge and therefore running the risk of giving away a penalty. But Kamara decided to cut it back.
Well, that's going to be another yellow card, surely. It's not even a free kick. I mean, Ricardo has just completely wrestled Yengi to the floor after the Pompey striker got in behind him. Not only has Bobby Madley not gone for the notebook, Sam, he didn't even give the free kick.
That was a good chance for Bolton to break there as well. I think Yengi's just put that seed of doubt, going back to that, in Santos' mind, because he's won the couple of first battles between them. He's been able to pin Santos and bring others into play. Didn't get the decision there, and Bolton were actually in business. Unfortunately for them, both strikers went beyond. The pass did go down the side of Shaughnessy, but it was weighted far too powerfully.
John Marsilio deep in conversation with the fourth official, Alan Young. Well, I can understand his frustration. I mean, we're high up at the back of the south stand, and it looked pretty clear to me that was a free kick, Sam. Referee didn't give it. Here come Bolton looking to launch an attack, but the ball floated out to the right-hand side. He's headed away by Sparks. Bolton content to let the ball trickle out for a throw. Pompey chimes ringing around Fratton Park with the score locked at 0-0 here on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Bolton on the attack. Magoma driving into the penalty area and looking for Dion Charles, who brings it under control. Could have shot himself. In the end it comes from Bodvarsson. His efforts blocked. The ball still bobbling around inside the penalty area, and somehow Pompey get it away. Should Dion Charles have been more selfish there, Sam Parkin, with the initial effort?
Well, it's really good play from Magoma. I'm not entirely sure why Charles didn't get the strike away on his left foot.
Here's Magoma again, dribbling into the penalty area. Oh, what a brilliant run from Magoma. Can he finish? No, he can't. The ball tamely into the arms of Norris. He's appealing a handball. That was mesmerising footwork from Paris Magoma.
Right, sensational stuff. I mean, he's had the ball 3 times, and he's been able to wander past Portsmouth midfield challenges like they're not there. He's really had an influence in the opening few minutes of this game. I just think he lacked conviction to go with his left foot there. Tried to just steer it in with the side foot of his right when it wasn't really on. I thought he could have just smashed that, pinged it left-footed would have had a good chances of capping what was an amazing run.
We've seen him with some moments of individual brilliance. We haven't had too many glaring opportunities yet, but Magoma, when he gets in possession, is a real threat for the Bolton defence. At the other end, I mentioned Abu Kamara on loan from Norwich. He is asking plenty of questions for that Bolton back line as well.
Yeah, that previous chance, just going back to it, it looked like from where we're sat that Dion Charles had a swing with his left foot. It fell to Bodvarsson and he didn't connect either. Charles was screaming for it to be set back to him, and it probably would have led to a certain goal, I would anticipate for Charles, but Bodvarsson probably didn't see it and, you know, had the goal right there, so he had to swing himself, but neither striker able to make firm enough contact.
Well, it's interesting that Bodvarsson has got the nod tonight to partner Dion Charles. I know Pompey have been preparing to face Adebayo alongside the Bolton top goal scorer. As the Trotters come forward again on this near left-hand side. 0-0 the score, and it's knocked straight out of play by Thomason. What do you make of the Bodvarsson-Charles partnership? What problems does it cause the Portsmouth central defenders?
Both clever players, I think, Crookie. There isn't loads of pace there. Charles is an incredible hard worker, but I think what we've seen so far, trying to link up, you know, balls played into their feet, looking for their partner. I would suggest that if one of them is going to attempt to play a little bit more on the shoulder, that would be Charles, but I think quite similar types actually, intelligent goal scorers.
Marlon Pack being put under pressure there by Magoma, so Conor Shaughnessy, the Irishman, comes across and just whacks the ball into touch via a deflection on that far side. Pompey have a throw just inside Bolton territory. They're attacking the goal away to our right, the blue shirts. Not too many empty seats inside Frappin Park on this Monday evening. 11 years since Portsmouth graced the championship. That's a drought that John Mousinho is keen to bring to an end. Bolton losing playoff semi-finalists against Barnsley last season. That's a road that Pompey have been down on a couple of occasions in the not too distant past when Kenny Jackett was in charge. I remember them losing here to Sunderland, a very ill-tempered game in a semi-final, and against Oxford as well. In fact, Pompey have never won a single playoff match. They've had 4 stabs at it in the various divisions and not won a single game, so they'll be keen to avoid that, Sam, this time around. The ball is played forward towards Dion Charles. The offside flag was up, but the goalkeeper was just a little bit hesitant, Norris, before the yellow ball eventually stuck to his hands.
Yeah, I think Dion Charles as well there, just put the brakes on. Just hesitated, and that gave Norris the opportunity to come out and clutch. Yeah, I remember those 2 games. There was high hopes, wasn't there? Those 2 ties, Crookie against Sunderland and Oxford. High hopes, and they just didn't really turn up. They were real cagey affairs. I think the Sunderland one was won by the odd goal, wasn't it? And Oxford able to get through in those 2 ties. And yeah,
Plymouth before that in League 2 and going way back. I remember Ewan Roberts for Leicester City KOing Pompey in the semi-finals when they were trying to get into the Premier League back in the early 90s. You're probably too young to remember.
Probably, mate, yeah. Don't recall that one.
Here's Magoma playing the ball back into his own penalty area. Baxter, he hasn't had too much to do to this point. He goes long again upfield, and it's headed out of play by Sparks for a Bolton throw just inside the Portsmouth half of the field. We played 21 minutes and neither goalkeeper has been seriously troubled.
No, you say that Bolton have had a good 5-minute spell where they've caused 1 or 2 problems around the Portsmouth goal, but it's been pretty even. That Magoma chance, probably the first real excitement of the night.
Long raking ball out from the back by Ricardo, trying to seek out Dacres Cogley, and then the pass back to Norris was almost under hit with Dion Charles bearing down, but Norris kept his composure and clears left-footed upfield.
Yeah, it didn't look, did he? Shaughnessy, I think it was. And Dion Charles once more, I mean, he was there, he anticipated it, and then just hesitated for some reason. Otherwise, potentially could have got there and got the toe around the goalkeeper. He
scored 6 away goals in League One this season. Dion Charles, top of that particular statistic. 14 in all competitions, 11 in the league. Pompey were hoping that Colby Bishop, who's got 11 himself, would be in their ranks tonight, but this game coming just a touch too soon as he battles back from injury. Here's Norris, who has the ball under his feet, just on the edge of his own penalty area. Ask Sean Raggett, who has improved this side of his game, to carry the ball out from defence and into Bolton territory. Here's Kamara up against Toole again, and strong play from the Bolton defender. Too strong, according to the assistant referee, and it's going to be a free kick for Pompey down by the right corner flag.
That looked like it hit something. I don't know if it's a water bottle just on the byline down there, but that looked like that was staying in play, you know.
Did he shove him though? Was he a bit overzealous?
No, I think it was okay. I mean, the assistants just kicked the bottle away. I think if it wasn't for that, that would have stayed in play there. And
so was he actually given a corner on account of the fact that the bottle basically stopped the ball going out of play?
I don't think it went out. The two were going to contest it, hit the bottle, and then he waved his flag. Seen enough.
Corner from the right-hand side. Portsmouth with plenty of bodies have come forward here. Once again, it's going to be that left foot of Sparks to try and do the damage in front of the travelling Bolton fans, and Raggett came flying in at the near post, but actually only succeeded in diverting the ball away from danger, and then as it came back on this right-hand side, Sparks was offside. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, can only imagine that Shaughnessy's just trying to flick that in with his left foot, just try and get beyond the Bolton player that was in the near post space, but inadvertently just put it back in the air really and towards Sparks, who was a little bit slow to react and get back on side.
Bolton haven't conceded a goal in any of their last 5 games. That's their best run of clean sheets in more than 110 years. In fact, Nathan Baxter, their goalkeeper, has only conceded 1 goal in his last 7 appearances. That's illustration of how difficult Pompey might find it tonight to break down their visitors. Here's Yengi dropping back to the halfway line, trying to flick the ball out to the left-hand side. Bolton win it back momentarily, then Marlon Pack tries to set Pompey away in the counter-attack, but his pass is intercepted by Toll, and then Kamara lays it to the feet of Robertson. Robertson gliding away from the challenge of Sheehan. Very graceful from the Manchester City loanee. Raggett forward to Kamara, and Kamara gets it back from Robertson. Decent miss from Pompey. Opportunity for Yengi inside the penalty area. He's left the defender on his backside. Only cut it back for Robertson, who maybe wasn't expecting it, and he missed controls on the edge of the 6-yard box, and what would have been a wonderful Pompey goal comes to nothing.
Yeah, the pass is for Kamara, isn't it? It's firmly struck from Yengi, who does some really good work chopping in field of the centre half, opening up the space, opening up the game, so he's got so many presentable options, then fizzes it in, and Robertson, unfortunately, from a Portsmouth perspective, can't get out of the way, ricochets off his shins, and Bolton survive.
Brilliant play initially between Robertson and Kamara. I was speaking to somebody very senior here at Portsmouth this morning. They were suggesting to me that Robertson has the ability, has the talent and the temperament to go right to the very top, to be a Premier League player.
Yeah, it was great play. Slick between him and Kamara. The pass released exactly the right time, both of them. Yengi, when he comes in field there onto his left side, I'm smashing that goalwards. I'm not looking for a pass. You've done the centre half, you've got the goalkeeper, and you've got a couple of players desperately trying to get back on the line who potentially could have thwarted your route to goal, but I'm roofing that left-footed.
Rafferty forward,
or attempting to
Yengi. Holds the ball up well, doesn't he? Yengi tends to stick when they do get it forward, Pompey. And they're enjoying a little bit of a purple patch here, but as I say that, it's given away by Sparks over on the left-hand side. 0-0 the score. You're listening to TalkSport on this Monday evening, and this League One summit clash between the two former Premier League sides. It's been a good watch so far.
Yeah, I'd say that Yengi's done everything that would have been asked of him, really. He's roughed up Santos, he's got hold of it, probably had the ball into him, on 4 occasions, 3, stuck really nicely, bringing others in, and that was a little decent bit of play, running in beyond on the shoulder. Possibly, looking back, could have been a little bit more selfish.
And you were interested before the game to see how the makeup of the 3 in behind Yengi would work out, particularly in the wide areas, because Paddy Lane does prefer to operate on the right-hand side. He's over on the left. It's certainly been to Pompey's benefit in terms of Kamara on this near side, but have we seen enough of Paddy Lane over on that far side so far?
No, not to this point. It's been quiet. This is a problem as well. Magoma's position behind the Portsmouth midfield.
And he's going to cross into the penalty area, and he's going to cross to Bodvarsson, and Bodvarsson's header is saved, and Dion Charles on the rebound has missed an absolute sitter, 6 yards out. The goalkeeper was out of the equation, having made the initial save, and somehow he's side foots wide.
Brilliant play once more from Magoma. You got the front 2, so working perfectly there. Bodvarsson with the first attempt. Dion Charles,
score, Charles, hasn't he?
On the spot, perfectly placed, getting to the rebound, and he just doesn't execute the finish, does he? He kind of just skews off his right foot, doesn't it? And kind of screws beyond the right-hand post. It was the best opportunity, of course, by a country mile. Has to score. Just a lacking that final little bit of quality, final little bit of concentration. That's all that's let him down, and it can happen.
Here's Sheehan bursting over the halfway line for Bolton. 0-0 at Fratton Park. What an opportunity for Charles. He's in possession now, dropping deep into midfield. Sheehan looks to his right and finds the lively Magoma. Certainly he's been at the centre of all of Bolton's good work going forward so far. It's switched out to his left-hand side, and Randall Williams, deep delivery over the head of everybody in white. And it will just be watched out by Lane and out for a throw, but John Massinio down the touchline just clapping his hands together. He knows that his side have had a major let-off. Not so much the initial header from Bodvarsson that was well saved by Norris, but Charles, 6 yards out, just almost opened up his body, didn't he, and just steered it wide.
He just didn't get a good connection, did he? I mean, it can happen, and he's one of those characters, Dion Charles. Absolutely won't be deterred by missing chances. You can tell that about him. He'll keep putting himself in the positions to get more opportunities on Portsmouth goals tonight. But it come from Magoma once more, didn't it? Who's been probably the best player in an attacking sense between the 2 sides. Just getting behind Morel and Pack, and his athleticism, his power, his ability to run with the ball, in contrast to what Morel and Marlon Pack having their skill sets. That's a bit of a worry for me if I'm on the Portsmouth bench right now. He's dominating the midfield area.
They've scored 63 goals, Bolton, this season in all competitions, more than any other team in English football. Really should have been 64. Here's Paddy Lane on the edge of the Bolton penalty area, and ball has found its way out to Kamara on this right hand side. He cuts it back. The offside flag has gone up. I think maybe Yengi just tried to overplay the finish, a bit too intricate with the attempt at a back heel. Didn't meet it cleanly. The flag went up anyway, and Bolton have a free kick, and it remains goalless.
Yeah, good response from Portsmouth. Terrific block from Santos. I think that Yengi just did get his side foot to the ball and tried to steer it goalwards. Santos was pretty much touch with him. Touch tight, and made a really good block. I think he's probably a product down this right-hand side for Portsmouth, where Kamara's getting loads of joy. Randall Williams doesn't really want to defend. You remember him back at Exeter getting loads of goals. You know, he's a real attack-minded player. So I think that's probably why Kamara's getting joy on the right. On the left-hand side, it's a different proposition, because you've got 2 real defensively-minded players marshalling that area of the pitch for Bolton in Dackers Cogley and Gethin Jones. So Paddy Lane's not getting any joy, because they're well set on that side. Up here on the left, Randall Williams really bombing on and leaving Kamara one-on-one with Toll, where clearly he's got the beating.
Don't forget, we've got more EFL action coming your way Tuesday and Wednesday here on TalkSport 2. Manager of Sunderland take on high-flying Leeds tomorrow night, and then on Wednesday we're with the league leaders Leicester in the Championship as they host Millwall. Also, you get the opportunity to catch up with Jeff Stelling on TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow from 6 a.m. Excellent listening once again this morning, a particularly passionate rant about the travel disruption, the lack of trains for Newcastle fans on their way back from that hammering at Spurs. Jeff Stelling back alongside Ali McCoy, 6 a.m. tomorrow on TalkSport. 0-0 here on the south coast. Pompey coming forward, and Yengi has got the better of Ricardo, feels he was fouled. Referee says play on. Yengi then slips, and that delays the cross coming in, allows Bolton to get players back. Here's Kamara on the edge of the area, plays it out to the right hand side of Morrell. Little low ball from him is clear. Still Pompey coming forward with Morrell, the Welsh international, level with the right corner of the penalty area. 0-0 the score. Into Kamara, who can turn on the edge of the box. Kamara forward, opportunity for Robertson. Try to guide the ball into the right hand corner, and Baxter gets down and makes the save low to his right.
Well, it was brave of the officials initially to allow play to go there. Ian Evatt would have been furious had that ended in the goal. He felt it was a foul on Santos. Yengi then, his loss of footing pretty much did for the impetus of that move,
because there were two Pompey players waiting for the early cross. Once he'd fallen over, he got back to his feet, but Bolton were able to get white shirts back defending.
Bolton had recovered. Kamara had the ball laid back to him, and I'm thinking just bend it left-footed, turn down that opportunity, and in the end Robertson just didn't catch his shot. It was good direction, but not enough pace on it to find the far corner.
And Bolton wants a free kick here for a late challenge by Paddy Lane. Belatedly, the assistant flags, and the set piece goes the way of the visitors. 39 points after 18 games is their best ever tally at this stage of the season.
Tell you, the endeavour's really good, and the aggression from Robertson in particular, but he just needs to be a little bit careful. He's flown into a couple of challenges after the yellow card.
Here's Bodvarsson being manhandled over on the right hand side by Sparks, and Bolton have got a free kick in a really teasing position, 4 or 5 yards in from the touchline, and it's a yellow card as well, and almost level with the edge of the penalty area over on that right hand side. So good opportunity here, Sam, to get the cross in the box, and Pompey have picked up their second yellow card of the evening.
It is, and that one to me is an unnecessary yellow card. It's an unnecessary foul. Bodvarsson's not going to run Sparks, I wouldn't suggest, so you just need to get in a good defensive position there, not too tight, and show Bodvarsson back, let him set it. No problem at all. Their best header of the ball's out of the box. He's not going to go beyond him and get to the byline, so Sparks is rash in giving away the free kick and being yellow carded into the bargain.
Can we say Sparks are flying after that challenge?
You would say that, mate. Nothing surprises me.
Electric atmosphere here at Fratton Park as well. In comes this Bolton free kick from the right hand side. They're lining up the white shirts. It's cleared out to the edge of the penalty area. Magoma twisting and turning to try and get himself into space, and then it's hacked away upfield by Paddy Lane and will be picked up by the Bolton goalkeeper Baxter just inside the area. 0-0 the score.
Yeah, a bit loose from Magoma for the first time, really. He's been excellent in this first half, and that's probably a example of the confidence that he's playing with. Just a little bit lackadaisical in possession, played square. Portsmouth able to get a foot in, and the momentum is lost just momentarily.
We are tiptoeing towards half-time here on TalkSport 2. 9 minutes of the regulation, 45 to play. Baxter's gone long, and it's well held up by Bodvarsson. And here's Randall Williams trying to impact the game in the forward area, because as Sam's already mentioned, he doesn't particularly like getting back and helping out his defence. Possession squandered, and then Pompey clear it upfield, and it's collected by the Portuguese Ricardo. Back to Baxter once more. On this occasion plays the ball short, and then it's swept upfield to Magoma. Well controlled by the Brentford loanee. And here's Magoma on the left hand side. He'll drift back in field and then try and switch the play right footed out to that far touchline. Lovely pluck from the sky by Dacres Cogley. Williams has found himself over on the right hand side, and Pompey content to let Bolton have possession, not in an area where they're really going to cause too much damage. Back towards the halfway line, forward to Bodvarsson, who got there ahead of Sean Raggett, his marker, and this is Magoma 20 yards inside the Pompey half of the field. 0-0 on TalkSport 2 as they Tried to be a bit more probing there after some patient play. It was given away by Dacres Cogley. Launched long upfield by Norris in the Pompey goal. Ricardo clambering all over Yengi, but didn't get much distance on his header, and it's knocked out with his right hand side, looking for Kamara. And Pompey now have possession with Rafferty. Forward he goes to Kamara. He looked to return possession to Morrell, but he gave it away. Just wonder if they switched it up here a bit, Bolton, as they come forward down the right-hand side into the penalty area. Oh, the cross is a poor one. High over the crossbar, and it will be a goal kick for Pompey. Dacres Cogley had come over to this left-hand side, swap wings with Williams, but they've quickly gone back to their more traditional flanks, the two wing-backs. That was a disappointing delivery.
Yeah, they moved it well from left to right, and it was a good opportunity given that Raggett stepped out of the back four, tried to play into Kamara. That's been, a pretty good avenue for them. And Raggett's passing's been good in the first half, but wasn't able to work it into the wide player, and considering they had a bit of an overload there, Bolton, they'll be disappointed they didn't make the most of that delivery.
That's something they've really worked on when it comes to Sean Raggett, the confidence to play his way out from the back. It wasn't necessarily a facet that Danny Cowley believed that he had when he first came in.
No, and it's been a bit of a test for him.
It's been a bit of a test for this Pompey defence as Magoma tries to break the lines, but the ball forward to him is too close to the goalkeeper Norris, and he half volleys it high up into the south coast sky, but it's collected by Toll on the edge of the Bolton area, and he helps it back to Baxter in goal, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, there would have been pressure on Raggett quickly coming in, considering how good the partnership between Shaughnessy and Paul had been. I mean, Paul's been an outstanding signing, chipped in with 3 goals as well, so having lost him, he would have known Raggett that he's got to come in and hit the ground running, essentially straight off, otherwise he's going to get criticism, and people are going to say, oh, that's because you're lacking the leadership of Paul and lacking that fluidity and what he brings in terms of being a ball-playing centre-half. So he could have gone under after that Blackpool defeat, so I think the last couple of results, more than anyone in the squad, and considering he got one of the goals at Northampton, that's probably been an incredible confidence booster for him.
Yeah, he chipped in with a couple of goals this season. He scored a brilliant 25-yarder at the Fratton end in one of the early EFL trophy games. It went viral amongst the Pompey fans on social media. Not renowned for that kind of play, Raggett. He's in possession here on the halfway line. He just draws the foul from Charles. And it's a free kick for Pompey, just inside the Bolton half.
It feels like Riley Taylor was getting rave reviews initially during his Portsmouth career as well, so it just shows that his form has dropped somewhat over the last few months, finding himself behind Raggett in the pecking order, considering you think of Taylor as someone who's quite comfortable playing out with the ball.
You mentioned the absentees, and they're key ones, certainly in the case of Regan Paul and Colby Bishop, who will be back sooner rather than later. They still left 4 senior players out of the squad tonight, so it is a lot deeper than maybe they've had in recent seasons. Certainly no cause for complaint for John Massinio when it comes to backing of the board. He signed 14 players in the summer. One of them in possession now. Robertson strokes it out to the left-hand side. Ball just disappears behind a big metal pillar in front of us in the press box here at Fratton Park, but Bolton clear the ball upfield, and across comes Raggett and just plays it calmly back to the goalkeeper Norris, who's had the one big save to make, Will Norris, denying the Icelander Bodvarsson with a header from point blank range. Dion Charles should have scored from the rebound, but steered his shot wide. Far and away the best opportunity that either of these two high-flying teams have managed to create, and I guess there was always a danger that they might cancel each other out, that it might be a little bit cagey. There have been good moments of attacking play, but neither side have really been able to dominate for any prolonged period of time, Sam Parkin.
No, I thought it was a disappointing opening 15 minutes, but then it sprung into life somewhat with that flurry of chances. Obviously Charles' one, and then we had the 2 that were created down the right-hand side via Kamara for Portsmouth. So I think both managers and both sides will be disappointed they haven't been able to get themselves on the score sheet, given that There's been probably 3 presentable opportunities. It's been good quality as well from about the 15-minute mark.
It's a free kick for Bolton, 5 yards inside their own half, away to our right. Ricardo stands over the ball. Pompey have got everybody bar Cassini Yengi, the Australian forward, back inside their own half. Ricardo plays a high diagonal into the penalty area, but Raggett doesn't even need to bother to head that one clear, just watches it sail into the arms of Norris. It's played out to the left-hand side. And Jack Sparks, we've got less than 2.5 minutes of the first half to play here on TalkSport 2. It's Portsmouth 0, Bolton 0. The top of League One, Kamara with a header forward to Yengi, who tries to get the better of Ricardo. Great feet from Yengi. Can he find the finish through the legs of the goalkeeper? And then it's somehow cleared off the line by Gethin Jones. Brilliant forward play from Yengi. He absolutely bullied Ricardo, kept his composure. Great footwork through the legs of the goalkeeper, but the finish just lacked conviction, and it wouldn't quite trickle over the line.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see this too often. He's given Santos a real game there. I mean, he's able to just about get the strike away. Santos is so close to him, though.
Cross back into the Bolton area, headed away again by Ricardo.
Yeah, I wouldn't be overcritical of the finish there, just because he's just stolen the march on Santos, but he's desperately stretching, trying to get something on the ball. He's under so much pressure there. Yengi still works the goalkeeper, but Jones is on point. Just as I think it was Lane probably was the nearest Portsmouth player steaming in.
Well, it was brilliant defending, because some right-sided defenders, when all the players on the opposite flank, when he sees that the centre forward is going to get his shot away, they might give up on that. He didn't give up on that. He made sure he got there first. I don't know if the ball was actually going to trickle over the line anyway, but certainly Lane would have been in to tap it in had Jones not been on his toes.
You just anticipate the forward player coming and flinging himself at it, and there's a potential of the clearance ricocheting back in off him, or the sliding tackle in essence taking it over the line.
Best chance Pompey have had. 0-0 right at the end of the first half here at Fratton Park. Randall Williams plays the ball in field for Bolton. Picked up by Sheehan. Can either side get their noses in front before the interval here on TalkSport 2? Just overran by Jones as he came forward. The loose ball fell kindly for Williams, and he's been shrugged off it by Rafferty. Rafferty forward to Yengi, who again is trying to isolate Ricardo Santos this time. The big Portuguese centre-back slides in and concedes the corner, and he'll feel better for that. Pretty much the first one-on-one he's won against Yengi.
He's done everything that's been asked of him, Yengi, apart from get himself on the score sheet. He's been really good in this first half. He's not ferociously quick, but he's quick enough to run the channels, and they demanded it got put in that space again, John Messina and his coaching staff.
Here comes Sparks with the corner. Might be the last meaningful action on the half, and it's been headed in at the near post. Portsmouth take the lead, and it's Connor Shaughnessy with a dart towards the near post, and the glancing header beyond the goalkeeper, and right on half-time the league leaders hit the front. Portsmouth 1, Bolton Wanderers 0.
Well, there you go, the left foot of Sparks again coming up trumps, and then it's just whether you can get the committed run across the near post, across Bolton players, and Shaughnessy arrives with such conviction. You're always going to be favourite as an attacking player if the ball is right, and then it's just the faintest of touches, the most perfect of touches to take it beyond Baxter. Brilliant set piece again from the set piece masters in the division.
An 8th assist of the season for Jack Sparks, the 3rd goal of the campaign for Connor Shaughnessy, and what a time in this top of the table clash in League One for the home side to open the scoring. Changes the whole complexion, Sam Parkin, of both managers' team talks.
It does, and do you know what? And I may be a little biased, but I hope the centre forward gets a nice pat on the back at half-time, because it's his unselfish running again when he's been involved in such combat in that first half with Santos earlier on in the first half, still willing to run him beyond to give his team an outlet. And like I said, John Messina is pointing drastically, stick it in behind again for Yengi, and he's been such a problem for Santos in the first half, and in that moment once more winning the corner. And we know that Portsmouth have been deadly this season from those types of situations with the quality that Jack Sparks has in his left foot. Centre-half's getting goals aplenty as well, so this is a real facet of their game that is adding to their ability to win football matches in League One.
We are top of the league, seeing the Fratton end away to our left. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. In all the excitement, I didn't actually see how many minutes were added. But we are into the 47th minute already. Pompey leading by a goal to nil. And there goes the half-time whistle. Drama aplenty in this top of the table tussle. Bolton with a glorious opportunity to take the lead. Bodvarsson's header clawed out by Will Norris, the Pompey goalkeeper. Dion Charles, the Trotters' leading goal scorer, simply had to tuck in the rebound. He fired wide. Pompey, through Cassini Yengi, had an effort cleared off the line, but right on half-time, Connor Shaughnessy up from the back. A brilliant dart to the near post. An equally good header across the Bolton goalkeeper, Nathan Baxter. He's conceded for only the second time in 8 games. And Sam Parkin, this place is rocking at half-time. Pompey in front.
Yeah, some noise, wasn't there, when that goal went in the back of the net. I think the manner of it as well, they've just been stepping it up in the previous 5 minutes or so, and then you get that kind of momentum build when you get the set piece, the noise levels go up, and then the delivery and then the manner of the header flashed past Baxter. It was an excellent set piece goal, and I wouldn't say maybe that they deserve to be in front. I think it's been quite an even half, but it certainly changes the complexion, and Bolton will be ruining that missed opportunity by Dion Charles.
Yeah, fantastic finish to the half for Portsmouth. Half-time here at Fratton Park. The leaders in front. Pompey 1, Bolton 0. And the teams are back out. Portsmouth leading by a goal to nil. Get us back underway here at Fratton Park. Pompey in their blue shirts, white shorts, red socks, attacking the Fratton end away to our left-hand side. Bolton Wanderers in their white jerseys, black shorts and white socks, and the omens aren't good for Bolton. Pompey haven't lost any of their last 29 league matches in which they've scored the first goal, as they did right on half-time. Connor Shaughnessy with a header from Jack Sparks. Corner, no change in personnel at this stage in proceedings, so Pompey once again with Norris in goal. Rafferty, Raggett, Shaughnessy and Sparks the back four. Morell and Pack in front of them, shielding, with Kamara, Robertson and Lane behind the very busy Cassini Yengi in attack. Bolton have Baxter as their goalkeeper, as Pompey come forward over on the right hand side, but they play it back towards the halfway line. Jones, Ricardo Santos and Owen Toole at the back three. Dacus Cogley and Randall Williams the wing backs, with Sheehan, Magoma and Thomason in midfield, then Bodvarsson and Charles up front. Raking ball forward from Norris, the Pompey goalkeeper, out to Lane on this left hand side, but it's headed out of play by Gethin Jones, and Pompey have a throw. What will the message have been from John Massinio at half-time? We wonder, as Yengi picks it up inside the area, shoots left-footed tamely into the arms of Baxter at the near post.
Well, it's too early to be resting on your laurels and trying to manage this game to a 1-0. We know that Bolton are very free scoring, and they've caused them problems of their own going the other way. Yengi in particular, it's probably whether he can continue in that vein as well, to give them the focal point, to give them the platform to build from. I wouldn't expect him to last the pace.
Here's Robertson on the edge of the area. He's trying to shift the ball on his left foot, but before he could get a shot away, he was challenged by Sheehan, and there were some verbals exchanged between the two opposite number 8. Bolton in possession with Williams over on the left hand side. Pompey leading 1-0 as it stands. They are going 6 points clear of Bolton at the top of the table. This would be a real statement win, particularly having been thrashed 4-0 by Blackpool the last time they took to the field here at Fratton Park. It was their 26th match unbeaten run in the league came to a crushing halt. Free kick conceded over on the right hand side by the goal scorer Shaughnessy, so Bolton have a free kick 10 yards inside Portsmouth territory, 1-0 to the hosts.
I thought that Bodvarsson's touch had just got away from him there, but did well just to take it in for his team, draw the foul.
Well defended though by Sparks down the left hand side. Then Paddy Lane plays it back towards Pack, who did catch Charles on the follow through, but Looked to me like Dion Charles anticipated the challenge and flung himself to the ground. Then Yengi felt he was being manhandled by Ricardo Santos, and as it's launched long upfield, the goal scorer for Pompey, Shaughnessy, heads it out to the right hand side, then it's cushioned back to the goalkeeper, Norris. Norris with a pass forward. I think the boos are directed towards the referee for not stopping the play, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a continuous battle between Yengi and Santos. Every ball really goes in the direction of those two. Great competition throughout the proceedings so far. Yengi invariably coming out on top, but Santos starting the second half in slightly better fettle, nice and aggressive from the outset.
Yeah, he certainly knew he was in the game in the first half on his 150th Bolton appearance, Ricardo Santos. Ironic cheers from the home fans as Pompey are awarded a free kick for a foul over on the right hand side. Magoma involved at the heart of it. It's not been the easiest game to referee. There has been a bit of needle, as you'd expect, between the teams scrapping it out at the top of the table. Both benches at times have been in the ear of the fourth official, but it is a Pompey free kick that will be played in from the right hand side, 2 yards in from the touchline, midway inside Bolton territory. It's Pompey who lead by that Shaughnessy goal to nil. As the Pompey chimes ring around Fratton Park again. Ball towards the far post. Lane was looking to meet it. Bolton have headed it clear to the edge of the area, bobbling around on the 18-yard line. Lovely turn by Shaughnessy, and he plays a decent looking ball out to Kamara as well. Almost had too much time, and then played a poor ball into the area, and Magoma heads it clear for Bolton. Brilliant speed of mind there from Shaughnessy as he picked up possession on the edge of the box.
Yeah, I mean, they're so effective, aren't they, when they go forward, both centre-halves and, you know, Regan Paul earlier on in this season, so there's a real confidence about them that they can make things happen from set piece, and he did well to keep it alive. He just forced Kamara slightly wide with his pass.
Norris with the ball forward. I think Mousinho was a bit frustrated there that he went direct, wanted his goalkeeper maybe to try and build up the play a bit more. Bolton got it back and they're coming forward down the right with Dacres Cogley, and he's been penalised for a foul on Sparks right in front of the fourth official. It remains Pompey 1, Bolton 0.
Yeah, it's naive of Dacres Cogley to just put any contact on that challenge there. Sparks running back towards his own corner flag, down on the near side. Any type of touch is going to go to deck, and invariably the officials will give those.
Norris coming over to take the free kick. He spent a lot of the summer actually playing in-house cricket matches, Portsmouth, just to build up a bit of team morale. Told that Will Norris, unsurprisingly, is a pretty good wicket keeper. They did play a local side actually in a friendly and got absolutely hammered by all accounts, but they put the stumps away for winter. I'm sure they'll be out again when the good weather returns in the new year.
Paul Tisdale used to do that in the summer. I think I did a bit of fielding practice on my first day of pre-season at Exeter.
Any good?
Didn't see a football. No, awful.
John Mousinho can bat by all accounts as well, although he will play that down. Here's Ricardo Santos for Bolton up to the halfway line, and Thomason. We haven't had the benefit of any replays of the Pompey goal, but Hugh Wozencroft back in the studio was quite convinced that Thomason had lost his man, and various powers of mine watching on TV concur. Maybe Bolton's defending left a bit to be desired. I'm sure that will be frustrating for Ian Evatt, especially bearing in mind how solid they've been at the back, particularly on the road as well. They've only conceded 5 goals on their travels, 1 defeat away from home. They're going to have to score here tonight to avoid a second. Pompey leading 1-0. And the first few minutes of the second half been largely uneventful. Here's Robertson trying to change that though, on the edge of the area, into Pack the captain. Forced wide by Ricardo Santos, who goes to ground, and did he handle it? Well, the fans behind the goal are convinced. Weren't too many questions being asked by the Portsmouth players, and in the end, Marlon Pack was happy to settle for a corner, but again, Ricardo Santos was left flat on the turf.
Yeah, I mean, he had a multitude of options, didn't he, Robertson, when he produced that nice little bit of play.
Short corner routine this time. Sparks to Lane on the edge of the area, and Raggett was leaping at the far post, but it's over his head and out for a Bolton throw. 1-0 Pompey lead.
I actually thought Santos defended that really well, because when it came left, Marlon Pack is just looking to shape it right-footed into the far corner, and Santos was so quick to come across. He closed down that option, and Marlon Pack opted to go on his left foot on the outside. Only going to be one winner there, really, because he's so quick, so sharp, Santos, in comparison to Marlon Pack. And then he tried to just steer it into the area. Santos lost his foot in. Looked like chest to me here, but
well, it was more the supporters who were crying out for the penalty. Marlon Pack, who had the best view, didn't really appeal for it. Here's Yengi again trying to out-muscle his marker inside the penalty area. Ball ushered behind for a corner, but I think John Massinio will be pretty pleased with the way Portsmouth have come out since half-time.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a bit disjointed, haven't they, Bolton, since the restart. There's been quite a lot of stoppages, quite a lot of little niggly fouls, which has just interrupted the tempo of Bolton's play, certainly. And Yengi still getting the upper hand of that battle between him and Santos. Again, great front play, giving his team the corner.
Corner from the right-hand side. Sparks with the left-footed in-swing. It's bouncing around inside the 6-yard box. Could have gone anywhere. In the end, Bolton, via Bodvarsson back doing his defensive duty, got it clear. Those set pieces, they are wreaking havoc for this Bolton defence, as they have done for a lot of teams in League One this season. Here come Bolton looking for the counter-attack. Dacres-Codley is beaten to the loose ball by Rafferty. Rafferty with a cross on the left-hand side towards the far post, and the goalkeeper punches it away. Pompey continue to pile on the pressure. Danger not clear for Bolton yet either. Maybe an opportunity to get a shot away for Lane on the edge of the area, and it's straight into the arms of Baxton, his left-hand side. He managed to keep hold of it with bodies running in, but listen to the noise inside Fratton Park. Pompey firmly on top early in this second half. They lead 1-0.
Brilliant from Rafferty down the left-hand side. You can't believe once he's won the ball and made that lung-busting run to the corner flag that he produced the quality that he did.
Dacres-Codley at the other end, cross into the area. Well defended. Raggett with the ball clear, back out to Dacres-Codley on the right-hand side, goes direct, and it was Dion Charles leaping, and he only manages to glance his header away from goal and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, good chances at either end. Great composure from Marlon Pack, receiving the ball initially for Portsmouth about 25 yards out, and just played the perfectly weighted pass to his left-hand side. Paddy Lane's first bit of involvement really in an attacking sense throughout the game. Stinging drive, well saved down to his left from Baxter, and that delivery, Dacres-Codley, nice trajectory, good weight on it. It would have just needed it to be steered goalwards towards the far post by Dion Charles, a fraction too high.
Tremendous atmosphere down on the south coast. Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0 on TalkSport 2. There'll be a lively atmosphere at the Stadium of Light tomorrow as well. Leeds, the visitors, in the Championship against managerless Sunderland. That's live on TalkSport 2. And on Wednesday we have the Championship leaders Leicester at home to Millwall. That's also live and exclusive to National Radio right here on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. And I'll tell you what, this has been a brilliant advert for League One so far tonight. Portsmouth are leaders, 1-0 up against second place Bolton, and their fans responding to what they've seen in the early stage in this second half by raising the noise levels, trying to suck this ball into the back of the Fratton end net away to our left-hand side. A second Pompey goal, Sam Parker, and you feel it'll be a long way back for Bolton, even with all their attacking quality.
Yeah, it's been a good, really good start. They're looking the more likely at the moment, but at 1-0, Bolton will not be deterred.
Dion Charles has really won his team a free kick there, backing in to Shaughnessy. In fact, there were 3 blue shirts around him when the referee finally decided that he'd seen enough and gives the free kick to Bolton. Taken quickly just inside Pompey territory is Josh Sheehan. And the ball now swept to this right-hand side. Dacres-Codley has got in behind Sparks, who rather got caught under the ball. He's got back in position now, but Dacres-Codley continues to come forward, plays it into the penalty area, and it was Sheehan looking to get on the end of it, who couldn't get it out from under his studs. Here's Magoma, good little spell this from Bolton Wanderers, attacking the goal away to our right. Magoma tries to play it forward, ricochet falls kindly for Gethin Jones, who made that crucial goal line clearance in the first half. Dacres-Codley cuts the cross back, miscontrolled by Bodvarsson, out for a goal kick, and I wonder now if Ian Evatt, who just looks forlornly at the floor before trying to whip his team up, might be thinking about changes, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really aggressive kind of set-up there for Bolton. Jones is almost on the edge of the Portsmouth box, the right-sided centre-half. Cogley makes a nice little overlapping run down the right-hand side. It just arrived at Bodvarsson. I don't think he wanted it. I don't think he was expecting it. He's probably 10 yards in front of the near post. He's not going to be able to score from there. Tried to take it under his spell, ricocheted away to safety for Portsmouth.
Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0 here on TalkSport 2. Yengi has done an admirable job replacing the suspended Colby Bishop, dropping into midfield on this occasion, but he can't keep the ball. Here's Magoma. John Massinio pointing and gesturing, orchestrating from the touchline, and Magoma's been upended by Yengi, and it's a free kick for Bolton inside the centre circle, taken quickly to Magoma. Bodvarsson with a first time layoff, but it's behind Cogley, who does well to scramble and keep it in play. Here's Gethin Jones now coming forward. Interception by Morrell. Bolton still have it though, over on the left hand side with Randall Williams in the pink boots, and he's played it straight out of play for a Portsmouth throw. They're not getting a minute's peace, are they, Bolton, whenever they're in possession? So many blue shirts clustering around the ball.
Yeah, there's been added intensity about Portsmouth performance, I would say, start of this second half. They've come out, been really aggressive, snapping into challenges. Bolton, a bit disjointed at the moment, so I'm sure Ian Evatt will be thinking about changes, but likewise looks like John Massinio deep in conversation with Raymond and John Harley down there. Looks like a sub could be imminent for them as well.
John Harley, a former Chelsea teammate of yours, part of the backroom staff now here at Fratton Park. As Robertson tries to bring the ball under control on the edge of the area. Again, he almost had too much time and just bounces off his knee, and Bolton have it back with Thomason. It's interesting actually the makeup of John Massinio's backroom team. They took a couple of players, a couple of coaches, medical staff from Bournemouth, Steve Hard amongst them, and the goalkeeping coach, and I know that Massinio has been tapping into those two to see how Eddie Howe used to do things at the Vitality. Maybe not the worst idea he's ever had.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because you think of John Harley and Des Raymond as quite young guys, but they've been retired, both of them, probably near on 10, 12 years now, maybe even longer. So they've got that decade of coaching experience. You would maybe look and think that he deemed a more experienced head as part of that staff, but yeah, they've got decent coaching experience themselves now, those two.
Here's Kamara playing the ball into the penalty area. Looked like it was going to be an opportunity initially. It was Robertson again, I think, who was bursting forward, just looks up to the heavens in frustration, and Kamara has gone down off the ball. This is a bit concerning from a Portsmouth perspective. He's been so lively. Abu Kamara, the only one of their players who's appeared in all 25 games they've played this season in all competitions. Kamara needed treatment, and it remains Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0 in front of 19,052 here at Fratton Park. 742 of them have made their way from the northwest. A chance for us, Sam Parkin, as Kamara receives treatment to catch our breath.
Yeah, it's been a fast start from Portsmouth. You're just waiting for Bolton to respond, whether that can come through the 11 that are out there, or if the manager's going to have to try and impact things. They spoke of those forward options at half-time, but the midfield as well. I think Morley and Dempsey both bring you a decent goal threat from midfield that you're not going to get maybe from Thomason for one. So he's got a plethora of options here, but when he looks towards his bench, I'm sure Adebayo for Bodvarsson will be a change at some point. It's how long he feels Bodvarsson can continue to go after clearly being hindered by injury over the last 12 months or so, and just been making his way back to the point where he can start games. So he's got good strength in depth here, maybe slightly early right now to roll the dice, but I'm sure he'll be thinking about it in the next 10 minutes or so.
Well, it's interesting because they've only used 20 players, Bolton, this season. That's fewer than any other team in the division. I mean, there's obviously merit in having a settled side, but at this stage of the season, when the games are coming thick and fast, this is their 5th of 10 games in the space of 38 days. Maybe the fact that so few players have been used just starts to take its toll, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, and may have to look to add to the squad as well. I think in January they're going to miss a few players, aren't they? I think for the African Cup of Nations and potentially a couple of Australian call-ups for the, I think it's the Asia Cup as well, that comes around about the same time, so they could be depleted.
Here's Magoma, shoots from the edge of the penalty area, high into the Milton Road end. Big roar of appreciation from the Portsmouth fans. Again, it was really good footwork, really good pace from Magoma, but just lacked the composure when it actually came to pulling the trigger.
Well, he's been the one, hasn't he, that's added a bit of a goal threat from midfield for Bolton so far. His position has been quite elusive in behind Pack and Morel on occasions, picking up the ball on the half turn, driving towards them, lovely mover on the ball, just couldn't work that onto Norris's target.
Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0. You're listening to TalkSport 2 down on the south coast. And this top of the table League One clash. Pompey piling forward again here, and an opportunity for Kamara. He was just forced wide by the ball into him, and then miscontrols, and it's safely in the arms of Baxter. That all came from Bolton giving away possession cheaply inside their own area, not for the first time tonight. Long ball upfield from the visitors, headed away by Sparks. Pompey determined to keep hold of this clean sheet. Paddy Lane has just been penalised for a late challenge. It's going to be a Bolton free kick, 6 yards inside the Portsmouth half, and Gethin Jones slowly will get back to his feet.
Again, just the sheer size and willingness of Yengi to put himself about. He took Santos out of the game. Those two were competing once more. Ball broke 50-50 with Sheehan, and then when they break, Yengi just doesn't execute his pass at the right weight for Kamara. It was a one-touch finish. It was crying out just to be slipped to his right. Kamara to come on, probably left-footed, where he would have been able to finish first time.
Well, he's down again here, Kamara, after that latest run, and you wonder if Pompey may be forced into a change, more treatment to be administered. Meanwhile, it's going to be a triple substitution for Bolton. Jack Iredale, Aaron Morley are both coming on, and so too is Carl Dempsey. At the moment, both sets of players just taking the opportunity to take on some water, but it does look like there's movement on the Pompey bench as well, so maybe Kamara's race his run. And Gavin White, the Northern Ireland international, is stripped and ready for action. Sam Parkin.
Yeah, good opportunity for White. Yeah, liked him previously, the spells at Oxford, wasn't it? Flying winger, not being able to translate it into his Pompey form so far this season, so what a night for him to potentially come on and get going in his Pompey career. And Bolton, those midfield players I was talking about, Iredale's obviously been a regular starter, but Dempsey and Morley, cornerstone really of Bolton's success over the last year, 18 months, and they definitely do bring that goal threat that I've talked about. Bolton maybe lacking somewhat from that midfield area today.
It's interesting that Magoma is one of the players who's making way here. I'm not convinced that's the change that I would have necessarily made. Thomason has also gone off, and so too Randall Williams. So that's the triple alteration as far as Bolton Wanderers are concerned. Are you surprised that Magoma's made way, Sam?
Yeah, possibly, but I mean they're high calibre players that are coming on. Dempsey is just energy, relentless, box to box, and Morley does bring you that goal threat. He's liable of scoring goals from distance. I think he scored a few high profile ones before when it's been televised matches, so he's got previous in this regard. Anything 25 yards out from goal, he's got real quality in his right foot. Dempsey will just bomb on now as well, push Marlon Pack and Joe Morrell back towards their own goal. So yeah, good quality substitutions, but Magoma had a decent game and certainly showed a lot of quality tonight.
And confirmation, Gavin White has replaced the injured Kamara. John Massinio will be hoping that is not a significant layoff, but again it shows the strength and depth that both these sides have. You've already mentioned the calibre of the Bolton replacements. Gavin White, a full international, signed from Cardiff City, the Championship in the summer, so good pedigree there as well. And his team leading by a goal to nil here on TalkSport, well into the second half. I think what will be encouraging for John Mousinho is that his goalkeeper Will Norris has not yet been called into action since half-time.
No, it's been a pretty dominating display since the restart. Bolton haven't got going.
An awkward one, back to the goalkeeper from Morley. Again, Pompey have won it inside the area, and the shot from Robertson is blocked behind for a corner. That Pompey press has been really effective, particularly in this second half. Whenever Bolton have tried to play their way out the back, they've invariably found themselves in trouble.
Yeah, Robertson's footwork's really nice again, but he actually closed down the angle, turning to his right-hand side where there were two Bolton players in waiting to make that sliding block.
Corner from the right-hand side. Sparks once again is going to look to swing it in left-footed. They've been so dangerous from set pieces, headed away by Ricardo Santos, the Bolton captain, collected by Robertson. He gives it back out to Sparks on that right-hand side, and again a really dangerous delivery, but in the end straight into the arms of Baxter in goal. It remains Pompey 1, Bolton 0.
Yeah, the first one Santos deals with well. They've got a problem now.
Well, they should have had a problem in the eyes of the home supporters. Ricardo Santos caught in possession by Yengi, who's been penalised for a foul.
Yeah, and you can tell the reaction from both benches there probably tells you that that's maybe not the correct decision. Ian Evatt, furious with his goalkeeper. I would presume that he rolled that out to Santos there when it wasn't on.
Well, John Mousinho is furious with the officiating, and he's making that pretty clear. Usually a very mild-mannered character, former PFA chairman, very respected by his fellow professionals. Learned his trade under Carl Robinson at Oxford United, and he is doing a wonderful job here as Pompey look to pilot their way back to the second tier for the first time in more than a decade. Of course, they went all the way down to League Two as a result of their financial woes when they graced the Premier League and reached the FA Cup final back in 2010. Having won it, the FA Cup, a couple of years earlier. As Bolton look to attack down the left-hand side. Bodvarsson beaten in the air by Raggett. Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0 the score. And Bolton are going to look to build from the back with Baxter, the keeper, signed on a permanent transfer from Chelsea in the summer after 8 loans over the course of his Stamford Bridge career. Ball is played up towards the Portsmouth left-back position, headed away by Sparks, but Dacus Cogley looks to keep Bolton on the attack, and he's manhandled. Marlon Pack, and it will be a free kick for Portsmouth just on this near touchline. I think John Mousinho will be pretty content with his side's game management in this second half as the minutes tick by. They still lead by that Shaughnessy header right on the stroke of half-time, Portsmouth. And the goalkeeper, Norris, in no hurry to take the free kick. Norris belatedly does pump it forward towards the penalty area. He's back now with his opposite number, Baxter. Again, a heavy pass back to the goalkeeper, and he's been put under pressure on the edge of the box every time he has the ball at his feet. He's gone long this time, and Bodvarsson dropping into midfield holds it up neatly. The Icelander out to the left-hand side he goes, and here's Bodvarsson again just outside the box. Marlon Pack prods it back into the Portsmouth area. It's fired long upfield in towards Yengi. Again, there was a wrestling match between him and Ricardo Santos, and again the decision goes Bolton's way, much to home team frustration.
I think he was just trying to be quite cute there. Yengi lost his footing, and just on the blind side of the assistant on the far side just looked to tug. I think the shorts of Santos taking him to the ground, and then he was the quickest to get up to his feet there, Yengi, and potentially get away, but the officials not having it. But still, as you said, minutes ticking on, and still waiting for that Bolton response really in the second half.
Yeah, into the final 18 minutes to 90. Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0. Portsmouth looking to go 6 points clear at the top of the League One table. That'll be a nice early Christmas present for their loyal band of supporters. Morel out to the right-hand side and Mengi, but Ricardo had the head start on the Portsmouth striker, and he plays it back to the goalkeeper Baxter. Robert John Massinio enjoys a really good working relationship with Rich Hughes, the Director of Football, formerly at Forest Green Rovers, and they are expecting a couple of additions in January, Portsmouth, just to reinforce the squad and try and cement their place at the top of the league. Have you seen enough tonight from the home side to suggest they will be great in the Championship next season? As attacking of frustration goes in on Gavin White, and another Bolton yellow card. This time it was Josh Sheehan.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear the areas they'd look to improve. Crookie, I think the severity of Regan Paul's injury means that they'll be looking in the centre of defence, I'm sure, and the centre forward position as well. They're very light. You're thinking about giving Yengi potentially a rest now at some stage.
Well, he might be off the Asia Cup as well.
Yeah,
at the turn of the year.
Sadie will be the one. Previously in his career, Bournemouth coming through his first loans, he played as a number 9. It's just this season he's been playing slightly withdrawn position.
Here's Robertson down the left-hand side, having neatly controlled a long ball forward. Plays it to Sparks, and now Paddy Lane looking to make progress, level with the penalty area. Portsmouth keeping possession well here, and Paddy Lane with the opportunity to burst into the area. Pass was a poor one. It's cleared upfield by Owen Toll. Here come Bolton at the other end, but well defended by Marlon Pack, stopping the attack in its tracks. As Carl Dempsey looked to come forward on this near touchline, he takes a throw, and Bolton have it back now inside their own half with Baxter in goal. Visitors trailing by a goal to nil on TalkSport 2. A little over 15 minutes plus stoppage time to salvage a point. Here's Gethin Jones with room to run into down the right hand side. He's very quickly made his way to the edge of the Portsmouth area, out to the right, and Dacus Cogley. So a raking ball across the edge of the area from Morley, but South's tamely out of play for a throw. And those Bolton fans, Sam Parker, who made the long trip down to the south coast from the northwest, they're just looking a little bit subdued at the moment, a little bit resigned to their fate, dare I say.
Well, they've had very little joy in the second period. Keon Charles has hardly had a kick. That one header that flashed past the far post in this second half. Other than that, I can't think of him getting the ball into feet. He certainly hadn't had anything in beyond Portsmouth's back line to run onto. It's been a really subdued second half, but full credit to Portsmouth to this point. Shut it down, as you said, closed with intensity from the front, defended excellently, the two centre-halves. It's been a excellent managing of the game.
Still got a quarter of an hour to see this one through though, and Bolton are trying to get bodies into the penalty area, and it was a shot fired in at the near post that needed saving from Will Norris. Pompey, almost for the first time, just switched off a little bit defensively, and the effort from Bodvarsson kept out by Norris.
Yeah, I think that was probably a cross, just didn't catch it right, Bodvarsson, but made it equally tricky for Norris, having to probably change direction.
Looking for Yengi again. And again, it's a bit of a grappling match between him and Ricardo. So difficult for the referee to decide who's actually the more guilty party there, because every time the ball is anywhere near them, they've both got arms wrapped around each other.
I mean, let's get it right. It's been wonderfully old school. It's been like a wrestling match from the off. So many balls, slow balls just played in, and because Yengi's clever and uses his body so well, it's just pinged Santos.
Well, that's a neat little flick on. Dempsey bursting forward. Was he caught by Raggett? Well, the referee has said no. I mean, you're a former centre forward, Sam. I think Raggett there knows he's not going to get the ball. He's just run across the line of Dempsey as he tried to flick it over his head. And the faintest contact made sure that Dempsey went to ground. I think he knew what he was doing there, Raggett.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I thought Dempsey, maybe his touch was a little bit heavy. ran across Raggett. Yeah, they don't seem to be too despondent, the Bolton players. Ian Evatt, however, is certainly.
He had a good view of it. Former centre-half himself, of course, part of that Blackpool team that Ian Holloway took into the Premier League. Pompey have got a free kick at the other end just to add to Evatt's frustration. Paddy Lane upended right on the touchline. More movement on the two benches, so more changes afoot once this free kick has been whipped in. Adebayo Ajo is coming on for Bolton. And Pompey are readying change as well, just to add some fresh legs. I think it's Terry Devlin, the Northern Irishman. But not until after this set piece has been delivered from the near side. Robertson and Sparks stand over the ball. It's only a couple of yards shy of the penalty area. Portsmouth leading Bolton 1-0 and looking for a second here to kill off the game late in the day at Fratton Park. Nervous times these for the travelling Bolton contingent away to our right. Sparks whips it towards the far post. The goalkeeper thought about coming in and stayed on his line, and it's lofted back into the area and attempted an overhead kick from Yengi. He got his body so high there, but the referee is penalised him for a high foot.
Yeah, and rightly so. There's so many bodies around there. There's so many Bolton players who risked having their heads taken off there by Yengi's right boot. Poor decision to probably try and execute that with so many players around him in close proximity.
Would have been some finish if he managed to pull it off. Carlos Gomez is also ready for action for Bolton, part of their impending double change. Visitors trailing by a goal to nil. And Josh Sheehan has been caught in possession inside the centre circle. Luckily for him, Gethin Jones able to get there before the two Portsmouth players inside Bolton territory. That's what they've done really well today. Portsmouth forcing Bolton into errors in possession, not letting them breathe on the ball. And here's Marlon Pack again towards the penalty area, finds Paddy Lane on the edge of the box. Lane with the shot, blocked by Jones on the edge of the area, and here come the changes. One last throw of the dice from Bolton manager Ian Evatt, and it's Dion Charles, their leading goal scorer, who missed that glaring chance at 0-0 in the first half, who makes way for Adebayo Ajo. Meanwhile, Mendes Gomez is coming on to replace Dacres Cogley down the right hand side. Not been Dion Charles' night.
No, I thought that he potentially bounced back from that missed opportunity, but he's just been a passenger in the second half, really unable to bring him into the game. And interesting that Bodvarsson's going to stay the distance, now going to be partnered by Adebayo Ajo, but that is a forward-thinking change. Certainly Mendes Gomez on the right-hand side, he's essentially a number 10, a wide player, going to be deployed at wing-back, but that does give them a more attacking look.
And for Pompey, one Northern Irishman replacing another. Terry Devlin coming on for Paddy Lane. Devlin signed from Glentoran in the summer. He's already at Northern Ireland under 21 international. He's weighed in with a couple of goals over the course of the season. That's just fresh legs, isn't it, from John Massinio?
Yeah, he's been better second half. Paddy Lane had a couple of attempts, hasn't he, on his left foot from 20-25 yards. More involved, pushed Bolton back on their right hand side. Didn't see him at all in the first period, but probably more of the play actually latterly has come down the left.
Well, we didn't see a glut of goals in this game, given how watertight both teams have been defensively. At the moment, that header from Shaughnessy right at the end of the first half will be enough, but Rafferty's been caught in possession, and here come Bolton in search of an equaliser. Brilliant tackle by Rafferty, making up for the error dispossessing Iredale. Perfectly timed slide tackle to concede the throw.
Yeah, rare mistake from Rafferty really. Marlon Pack's pass was excellent, just let him get away from it, and Iredale was quick to the loose ball bursting down the left hand side.
Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0. Into the closing stages here at Fratton Park, and then Iredale has conceded a free kick down in the Pompey right back position. They've cut the look at times of a frustrated team, Bolton Wanderers.
They have, I think, this is the midfield trio they went with a lot last season. It was a good combination for them, but I'm slightly surprised that Ian Everts stuck with the same shape, the same tactics throughout the piece, considering that we're now 10 minutes from the end of normal time, and still searching for a little bit of impetus, a little spell where they can create maybe some momentum, a flurry of chances. Portsmouth have done a brilliant job, as you said, of forcing them into going long, nicking balls off them when they've been trying to build from this type of position. So they've just not been able to get their football imposed on Portsmouth at all in the second half.
And it's worth noting at this stage that coming into the weekend, Portsmouth have the joint best defensive record in the division alongside Derby County. And they have protected their goalkeeper tonight, barring that double chance in the first half. Bodvarsson's header saved by Will Norris, Dion Charles putting the rebound wide. That really is the only moment of concern for Portsmouth, certainly since they took the lead.
Yeah, that will be a big frustration, I think, that they haven't turned up in an attacking sense. There's not been any cohesion really, there's not been too much joined up play. I think of Magoma's performance, I think individually he was probably the pick, but not seen that combination that we would have anticipated from the forward players at all.
Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0 into the last 7.5 minutes. Free kick for Pompey, 2 yards inside the Bolton half. A yellow card was shown there, was it?
Yeah, it's the free kick taker, Marlon Pack, I think.
Just for slowing the game down. Who can blame him?
He's been very good actually, very good tonight.
Well, his is a nice story. Marlon Pack is a long ball upfield. He is behind for a goal kick for Bolton, too far in front of Yengi. Portsmouth born and bred. He was here during their financially troubled times around about 2010 before moving on. Returning at the start of last season, captains his hometown team. And he's formed a good partnership alongside Joe Morrell. That was the one big call that Massinio had to make before kick-off, reinstating Morrell at the expense of Christian Sadie. That moved Alex Robertson into that more advanced number 10 position. And you've got to say the makeup of the midfielders worked for Portsmouth this evening.
Yeah, I think the two deeper players have been excellent with the ball. They were posed a few problems by Magoma in particular in the first half, but with the ball they've been excellent. That assurance that they bring their side, the confidence, the decision making, almost always spot on. There they are again in tandem, little 1-2, Morrell flicking it in beyond.
It wasn't a great header away by Ricardo Santos. Chance to get across into the box here. They've got 4 in the centre. Pompey opted to go low into the air, and it's cleared away by Jones. But again, Bolton unable to keep possession. And here's Yengi. He's touch tight. Ricardo Santos for the Portsmouth forward, who stumbles but still manages to keep possession and plays it to the edge of the box. They want to cross towards the far post. It's geared in towards Gavin White before being turned behind for a corner for Portsmouth. Morrell was lurking as well, waiting for a tap-in.
He had 3 players there. Pompey on the far post, but Gavin White just didn't see it. Tiptoed into the area. Deflection on his cross-come shot, and in the end Bolton able to deal with it. The one player who was in the vicinity of those Portsmouth players at the far post.
5 minutes to play. Portsmouth 1, Bolton 0. In comes the corner, and it's headed away from goal. Another big opportunity. Yengi just didn't connect cleanly. Bolton have taken the goal kick quickly. As long as it stays at 1-0, they'll feel they're going to get one last big chance at the end of the game. They've committed a lot of white shirts forward here, but Morrell steers the ball away from the edge of the area. Swung back in from that left-hand side. Dempsey hooks it away from goal, just trying to keep the move alive, and they've launched it upfield towards Mengiu. Controls it ahead of Ricardo Santos. He was shoved down off the ball, but the referee has played a good advantage. White into the penalty area. Yengi back on his feet and gets the second to send Portsmouth 6 points clear at the top of the League One table. Well, he's had the beating of Ricardo Santos all night, Cassini Yengi, and he's got his reward. Right place, right time, 5 yards out for his first goal since October, and it's Portsmouth 2, Bolton 0.
It's a brilliant second goal, and again, just a 50-50 ball played forward, clipped towards Yengi, and his physicality, his understanding of the role, getting his team up the pitch, and then it's about the two substitutes, Devlin and White, keeping it alive. Good combination, both of them over on that right hand side, and then can Gavin White deliver? It's absolutely perfect along the 6-yard box, and the player that's been involved in the battle 30-40 yards from the goal all of a sudden is on the 6-yard box, anticipating behind Santos, steers it home with his left foot. Brilliant goal.
And a statement win under the lights at Fratton Park for Portsmouth. Bolton on this tremendous run, 11 games unbeaten, 10 wins in those 11 matches. But some of their fans are already heading for the exit away to my right. They're on their feet all around us at the back of the south stand. The Fratton end away to our left is bouncing. They've had some dark times, Portsmouth, over the last 13 years since they dropped out of the Premier League. But it's the type of victory, the type of performance that gives you that feeling that maybe the good times are coming again. And even without their main marksman, Colby Bishop, you have to say, Sam Parkin, they've swatted Bolton aside with relative ease.
Yeah, the first half was even, second half's been anything but.
7 added minutes at the end of the 90. If Bolton could get one back, we'll be in for a grandstand finish here on TalkSport 2. Portsmouth 2, Bolton 0. Mendes Gomez into the penalty area, drills his shot along the 6-yard line. It's turned behind, and a corner kick for Bolton.
Yeah, one of the first times that Sparks has been done with a little bit of skill from the substitute Mendes Gomez. Plenty of white shirts forward. Surely would have been able to put it in the vicinity of one of them, but just passed it straight to Rafferty, who dealt with the situation.
Corner played in towards the near post, but headed away, and here come Portsmouth on the counter-attack. Excellent play by Gavin White, and then he's been barged over by Mendes Gomez. It's going to be a yellow card for him. Have to say, the changes that John Massinio made, the fresh legs in particular with Gavin White and Terry Devlin, they've made a real impact as well, as we saw on that counter-attack.
Yeah, Kamara and Lane were certainly tiring in the second half, and Gavin White is a flyer when he's at it. He's a real direct winger, and that was just brilliant skill for him. So direct. I don't think it was malicious from Mendes Gomez, just couldn't really get out of the way, dangled a leg, takes the yellow card for his team in a situation now where it looks like this game has gone for them.
5.5 minutes of stoppage time to play. Portsmouth 2, Bolton 0 on TalkSport 2. A goal at the end of the first half. Shaughnessy heading in from a corner, and then Yengi towards the end of the second. 2 more changes to be made by Portsmouth as well, and Yengi is going to get a well-deserved rest and a well-deserved ovation from the home supporters as Christian Sadie comes on. And Zach Swanson has come on for the final 5 minutes to replace Sparks at left back as well, the former Arsenal youngster Swanson.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that Yengi hasn't contributed, a great deal already this season. He's come in and done a good job. Cup competitions last time out against Northampton, excellent. But tonight, that was a phenomenal centre-forward performance from him. And if they do indeed go and get the 3 points tonight, like it looks very much like they are going to do, what confidence that gives the manager not to have to rush Colby Bishop back in the next couple of weeks. Just maybe nurse him through the next few games. Now you've got someone that can come in and deputise in that manner. My goodness me.
Very mature performance for a relative rookie, really. when it comes to the EFL. Ricardo Santos straight away being put under pressure by Sadie. He's going to need a good sleep tonight, isn't he, the Bolton central defender?
Yeah, both of them, probably for different reasons. The adrenaline will be rushing through their body. Portsmouth centre forward tonight, I'm sure he'll be replaying that goal over and over again. But yeah, that's what you want. You want to come off the pitch and you want your opposite number, the centre halves in particular, to know that they've been in the game. And Yengi fancied that from the outset. Speaking to the people here tonight at Portsmouth, they were a little bit sheepish. They felt that maybe the missing Colby Bishop was going to be a factor in this tonight. Did Yengi have the physical capability to dominate his opponent? Well, he did. I think probably 70-30 in his favour, and they've tussled throughout tonight's game. And I think him getting the upper hand of their talismanic defender has just given Portsmouth the confidence. You often get that from your front players, the old cliche, only as good as your front man. Tonight, Yengi was far superior to his opposite number.
And this league is there for Portsmouth to go and win now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's by no means over by any stake. Bolton will come again, no question.
Well, the goalkeeper there has put his right-sided defender in trouble. Devlin intercepted the ball. He was dragged down by Gethin Jones. It's a yellow card, and that really epitomises this second half. Bolton careless at times playing their way out from the back, but the Portsmouth press has forced them those mistakes, and it's got nerves jangling, hasn't it, in the Bolton back line?
Yeah, they've been really energetic, Portsmouth. Bolton have continued to play out, and they've been robbed of possession quite often in this second half. I think it's an open division rookie this year. Going back to your question, Portsmouth have done phenomenally well, but you look at last year's League One, there was 3 unbelievable sides that accumulated a ridiculous amount of points. I don't think that's going to be the case this season. Yes, and Portsmouth may very well end up getting automatic promotion, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the tally that those teams accrued last year.
Well, they were top of the table at Christmas and had a good lead under Kenny Jackett a few seasons ago, ended up dropping into the playoffs, and that was when they were beaten by Oxford over 2 legs in the semis. So these fans won't be taking anything for granted. They can be a fairly pessimistic bunch at the best of times, which might just play into Pompey's favour. No danger of complacency, certainly in the terraces. No danger of complacency down there on the touchline either. Knowing what I know about John Massinio, as his side win a corner. Ball just booted out of play by Ricardo Santos, and Robertson will come across and take it. We've got a little over a minute remaining. In fact, the referee has said no, it's a throw, not a corner. Not that the Portsmouth fans will care. Pompey 2, Bolton 0 here on TalkSport 2. On this nerve-jangling night at the top of League One. Throw it into the Bolton penalty area. Portsmouth content just to keep the ball high up the pitch and keep their clean sheet intact as the ball is bowled out to the left-hand side and then launched forward towards Bodvarsson, but headed away by Shaughnessy. Those 2 Pompey central defenders, Raggett and Shaughnessy, by that one lapse in concentration with a double chance that Bolton squandered in the first half, have had a really good evening. Shaughnessy with a goal that put Pompey in front in stoppage time at the end of that opening 45 minutes, and that lead doubled by Cassini Yengi. A much deserved goal for him after a performance full of energy, full of endeavour, full of intelligence as well, replacing Colby Bishop. And as Bolton hoof the ball out of play on that far side, these home supporters, many of them on their feet, ready to give the Portsmouth players a standing ovation. We're over the minimum 7 added minutes. It's a long throw from Pompey over on that far side. We are top of the league. Sing the home supporters. It's been a performance befitting of the table toppers, and there is the full-time whistle. Clear daylight for Portsmouth at the top of the table. They've seen off their nearest challengers, and they've seen them off with ease in the end. Connor Shaughnessy heading in from a corner right at the end of the first half, broke the deadlock. It was a brilliant performance from Pompey in the second, crowned by a deserved goal for Cassini Yengi. Pompey back to winning ways here at Fratton Park after that 4-0 defeat against Blackpool, and it finishes here in the battle of the top two. Portsmouth 2, Bolton Wanderers